said, you'll sleep it off, you'll have a great sleep, you'll probably be hungry as hell, but it's not going to kill you.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Hey, I got some good answers there. Thank you so much. I mean, you enlightened me about the steroid thing. So,
Thank you for the great questions, Paul. What else you got?
hey, now here's one. I was wondering what you guys, and like I said, I want your opinion. Okay, now Trump has been indicted. He's got 34 felony accounts. He's got 4 criminal cases pending. He was booked over at the Fulton County Jail, which was one of the most notorious jails in the United States. What an embarrassment for him to go through that whole process. Do you guys, Wrangler, El Guapo, Executioner, do you think he's going to be successful and become the President of the United States of America?
Yes, because they want to make a change and make a difference. So it's a big possibility, yes.
And by the way, those charges, the RICO, ain't going to stick. Them wanting to bring it to trial and record time. I've actually talked with a bunch of lawyers, and one of them who actually helped co-write RICO said it's not possible. It could take up to 6 months to a year to bring that to trial. By then, he's going to be president, right?
And then he'll pardon himself, right?
No, a president can't do that, but he does have presidential immunity for prosecution, right? So, and by the way, the stuff he was doing is completely legal. This RICO rap they charged him with is utter bullshit, okay? Questioning the results of an election, every politician has done it. Everyone. Anyone who has lost has done it, including, I think Al Gore did it, Dole did it, let's see, going way back in the day, Duke Major, when I think he ran for governor of California, even he questioned the election results against Pete Wilson, right? I think it was Wilson and Duke Major. All politicians question election results, especially when they were as close as Trump was to Biden in this last election. And then them indicting all of his lawyers under a criminal conspiracy, that's not going to hold water. I mean, in my personal opinion, it's a political attack against somebody they know who's going to win, and they don't want him back in office. They don't. So they're doing everything they can to try to stop him.
The thing is Gore conceded pretty quickly. It was within 2 or 3 days after that election that he conceded. Trump fought it, and I think what they're leading to is that not so much that he questioned the election, but that he actually inferred or tried to get them to create votes to help him win the election, to sway the vote back in his favor. Now, whether that happened or not, I'm not going to get into the details of it, but I think there's a bigger question here is, anybody remember Marion Barry? He was the mayor of Washington, and he got busted for smoking crack.
Oh, yeah.
Well, okay. Marion Barry went on to hold political office after that happened. So my question is, and I really don't know this because I'm not an expert on law or politics, but is there any law saying that a convicted felon can't run for president of the United States?
Yes.
There is.
If you will, okay, so I guess the way it is they couldn't impeach him, right? So what they're trying to do is you can't run for president if you're in prison. That's what they're doing.
Well, if you're not in prison, let's just say let's say he was convicted, but let's say time served, commuted sentence, something to where it's okay, you've been charged, you've even been convicted, but he's not in prison. Could he then still run and potentially hold off?
If his record has been expunged, from what I understand.
And I used to work for Political Reform Secretary of State, and if you have a felony record, you cannot run for any office.
Really?
Yeah.
How the hell did Marion Barry pull that one off?
It might have been dropped from felonies to misdemeanors, because misdemeanors, everyone gets a misdemeanor at least once in their life. Yeah. Right? So, I mean, it's a misdemeanor in a felony world, is what my dad always said. So, yeah, he probably had it, dropped down to lower crimes.
Yeah. that's I'm really curious. I'm gonna have to do some reading, not during the podcast, obviously, but yeah, because I'm pretty sure he was elected to office even after that happened.
Huh.
Which is I always thought that too. I always thought if you were a convicted felon or if you weren't a citizen of the United States, there were certain criteria.
Definitely California law. As for other states, who knows?
It's a federal law.
Yeah.
You know if it's a federal law.
I don't know.
Well, I'm thinking under federal law that you can't run for office if you have a felony unless it's been expunged and wiped off your record. As far as I know, now don't quote me because like I said, I'm not a pro. I'm just an average Joe. But I don't think you're allowed to run for office if you have a felony. So I think that's what they're trying to pull on Trump. They're trying to get him wrapped with a felony to make him drop the race. And they've already charged him, but now being charged is different than being convicted. So,
now, what about DeSantis? Do you think, because DeSantis, I'm pretty sure is planning on running for president, during this election. Right now, he's obviously the governor of Florida, but we know that he has his sights on, the presidency.
I know that I'm butchering this guy's name. The guy who's the second front runner-up, I think his name is Swami. He's actually ahead of DeSantis right now.
Is he?
I mean, way ahead of him. He's in a strong second place, and DeSantis is in third. And if I remember right, there's a female, her name escapes me, but she's like in fourth place right now. So, for the Republican convention. But that all can change, right? But, yeah. Right now, the front runner is Trump, then it's Ramaswamy, I think is his last name. I'm butchering it, I know I am, but I'm trying. And then followed by DeSantis in a strong third. So.
I thought DeSantis would be, because he appeals to the same base as Trump does, as far as his stances on gun control and religion and many other things. He's even more extreme in some ways than President Trump was. So I'm
thinking the reason why Ramaswamy, like I said, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, sir, if you see this. I think the reason why he's in such a strong second place, he's a clone of Trump. If you want to know why, if you want my opinion on it, he's a businessman, a billionaire. I guess he was into tech. So just like Trump, he's not a politician. Let's get honest, guys. DeSantis is 100% a politician. So like Trump, I never considered a politician. I consider Trump a statesman. He's somebody who came from the people, got the highest job in the land, president, and then when he was done, went back to being a regular Joe. A lot of these people that run stay politicians when they're done. I
think calling Trump a regular Joe is a bit of an exaggeration, The guy's never.
So what I mean by regular, clarification on regular Joe, I mean he wasn't a politician.
No,
That's what I mean by regular Joe.
But I mean, like his life has been so far removed from any of our lifestyles. As far as this guy's obviously never had a paper route. Any type of manual labor, I seriously doubt it. And for example, what was it? President Bush, the first President Bush. I remember seeing a photo op of him when he was running for president years ago, and they had him in a grocery store, and he's holding like a can of something, and he's scanning it against the automatic scanner that rings it up, and he's doing it over and over again, and he's doing it in amazement. Like, if he didn't know we had this kind of technology that could scan food through the thing, he's like, this is amazing. Do you see this? And you can tell right then and there that this fucking guy has never went shopping before in his whole life. Has never been in a grocery store. And so that's what I'm saying. They are not regular Joes. That's the wrong word for any of these guys at that level. Nothing in common with us.
Not Sleepy Joe, not Sloppy Joe, no.
None of them.
None of them.
That's why I did my clarification. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
not
guess what?
Yeah,
It sounds like Manor time.
Here we go.
Oh, here we go.
Hey guys, Manor time.
How about Maynard for vice president.
Hey,
Somebody-
real quick, who is that guy? Who's that guy? I've never seen him before.
I think he's Telly's friend. Telly's brother-in-law, maybe.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay, you guys are ready? Are you guys ready to go to the next subject?
Yeah, bring it
Be
up.
careful.
Okay.
Be careful, Wapo. Telly might come down there and put a pounding on you.
He might.
Okay, let's talk about Sleepy Joe Biden. Okay.
Oh, dear God, no.
Yeah, now he had a brain aneurysm back in 1988. Okay, he's 79 years old, and when he's on these YouTube videos that they have of him, I mean, he can't even get his sentences out. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He seems like he's lost, and he's walking off stage, everything else. Does this man have dementia?
It's quite possible. He's up the age, sadly, and I mean, Reagan was our oldest president prior to him. Is Joe now our oldest president in U.S. history?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I mean, Terry Funk just died at 79. So I mean, like we were saying, if you make it to that age, you're very lucky. This guy has made it to that age, and now he's holding the office that technically is what, the most powerful man in the Western world. You know, with that seat of power. You know, I hate to say it. I really think if he would focus more on the economy and trying to get those interest rates down somehow with the Fed, he'd be in a better position than whatever else he's trying to do. I don't know. You know, God, I realize our foreign affairs are very important, and I'm not, you know, trying to slight anything else that he's probably trying to do. But if you don't have a good economy and people aren't happy and making money, then you're never going to be a popular president. So it's just like that thing right there. That's the one thing that they're always going to say after his term is that, oh, the economy went to shit while he was in office because they jacked up the fucking rates. Nobody wants to buy anything now, and we're kind of in a stagnant situation. I wish they would focus more on that part of the president. I realize there are other important things too, but if everybody's not making money and able to feed their families, you're definitely not going to have a happy nation for sure.
Okay, that's a good answer. I'm going to go with that. And here's another one for you guys. Okay, the Wagner Group. Okay,
Oh boy.
were they assassinated? That plane crash, was it done on purpose? And so it happened, Yevgeny Prigozhin, or whatever his name is, he supposedly was on the call list on that plane, and he died when that plane came down, and 10 people died of the Wagner Group. So do you feel it was an assassination that Putin did that?
Are you talking about the mercenary dude over in Russia that switched sides?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
That's the guy. Yeah, he led the uprising where they started heading towards Moscow, and then they abruptly stopped. And then supposedly they had made peace, come to some type of agreement. But the realization is once you betray Putin, your days are numbered. And so I believe he was probably dead before he ever got on that plane, to be honest.
Let me how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Putin, KGB. You honestly think you're going to betray him, being a former KGB member, and live to talk about it?
Nope.
No. I seriously believe that they either shot that aircraft down or planted some sort of boom device on that aircraft. Can't say that, you know, I don't want to get us in trouble, you know, by what we're broadcasting, but I think that it was totally an inside job to get rid of him because he decided that he wanted to play Dutch door action with Putin.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Wow.
That's, you know, and I'm just a common guy, but you got military background over there, Waffle. So
Yeah,
what do you?
I think he was dead before he got on the plane. I think just like people have talked about, you know, certain things about the 9/11, there may have been one of the planes was completely empty. I don't want to say that's true, but I really think, especially when we're talking about Russia, it could have been that plane was completely empty and they just shoved a dead body on there, and that was like his farewell. They probably tortured him to death and then threw his body somewhere, and he died in a plane crash. I don't think they have to go through the elaborate, you know, production of actually downing a plane to kill this guy. He was probably dead before he ever got on this plane, because nobody knew his whereabouts for like the last 30 days. Not seen on camera, not heard from, completely disappeared over 30 days ago, and then all of a sudden,
I said, he was taken out by Putin. You know, he betrayed the wrong guy.
Absolutely.
I totally agree with you guys. I totally agree with you.
Yeah. What do you think, X?
Oh man, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, anything can happen, bro. It could be an insight or, you know, it does sound like an insight to me, you know, out of the whole thing. But I don't know. I think it's time for a commercial break. I think we need to do the Uranus. Your commercial break right now, so let's do the commercial break and we'll be back for the
All that beautiful fudge footage.
The best fudge comes from Uranus. Uranus, Missouri. That felt good. Tastes even better. Wow. Deep in the crack of America's heartland, the citizens of Uranus are bursting to give you their amazing fudge. That's right, fudge from Uranus. I'm not fudging with you. We're literally in Uranus. That's the mayor of Uranus, and you can get your fudge out the back door at UranusGeneralStore.com. And we're not fudging with you. I'm as serious as a fudging horse kick to the side of your fudging head.
I am as serious as forgetting your fudging anniversary.
I'm serious as skid marks on your fudging undies.
I'm serious as fudging a pregnancy test. I'm serious as fudging the presidential election. I'm serious as fudging the bar exam. Uranus squeezes out so many different fudges that they have a fudge for everyone. They got blueberry fudge, chocolate fudge, vanilla fudge, chocolate pecan fudge, mint chocolate fudge, cookies and cream fudge, peanut butter fudge, M&M fudge, toffee bar fudge. There's a fudge for everyone. Right now I'm making the mayor's number 2 favorite flavor of fudge. You can try some at UranusGeneralStore.com. Click now. That is some yummy fudge from Uranus. The best fudge does come from Uranus, Mr. Mayor. That's my dad. Go to UranusGeneralStore.com and order the best fudge this side of the Mississippi. And the other fudge side, too. We can't contain it anymore. Uranus is about to explode across your screen and your front door. Ooh, fudge! Quit Prairie Dog and order the best fudging fudge ever. Hey, Mr. Prairie Dog. So if digging for fudge in Uranus isn't your thing, then bring your fingers over here. Uranus offers a lot more than fudge. They got fudge and magnets. They got fudge and hats and the hottest fudging calendars of Uranus you've ever fudging seen. That's cool. But if you ask me what the best part about Uranus is, other than the fudge in Uranus, it's the fudging shirts. Fudge not, lest ye be fudged first. Fudge, 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 fudge. Want to see more of Uranus? Come see the amazing attractions like the Unicorn Creamery and Fudge Bakery. Fudge and Great. Escape Uranus Escape Rooms. Fudgerific. Uranus Sideshow Museum. Hot Fudge. Chickaboos Party Bar Grill. Fudge, yeah. So quit fudging around. How many more times do I need to say fudge to get you order some fudge and fudge? Seriously, Uranus can't hold this fudge forever, so you might as well order some fudge today, for fudge sakes. Go to UranusGeneralStore.com and order your fudge today. Or come down here and drop some deuces yourself. Peace. Welcome to Uranus. Let's make Uranus great again. Fudge, yeah. Fudge, 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 fudge. Fudge.
So, apparently there is no law that stops convicted felons from running for president. And Marion Barry did serve time in federal prison only to make a political comeback and be elected again. So,
Wow.
yeah, anything goes.
Wow.
So you can be a felon and still run for office?
It has been done before. In 1920, somebody served 10 years in prison and got out and ran for president. They received 3% of the vote. They didn't win, but they were able to run. Yeah, and were taken seriously.
Wow, okay.
Wow.
I learned something new today.
Me
Because
too.
I was always under the impression that if you had a felony, you could not hold public office.
You know, I thought that too, but the only thing I know for sure is I know that if you're not born in this country, you can't run, and that's why Arnold Schwarzenegger can't run. That's why Henry Kissinger couldn't run, which I think is a shame because I really like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I think he would make a good president. But you know, that's just my opinion.
And Phil, is that with California law too? Because when I was working in political reform, I could have sworn that people couldn't run for office if they had a felony.
This is a federal law. You know, we're talking about the presidency, not just state thing. So it's politician. That was the District of Columbia, I believe. So, yeah, in California, every state's going to have its own laws, but as far as, the big seat, the presidency, the federal, the leader of the free world, you can be a convicted felon and run for that office.
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
Well, that's cool to know.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready for the next one?
Yeah, let's bring it on. What do you got, Paul?
All right. I want to know what your thoughts are. Everybody's thoughts. Are we headed for World War III?
I hope not. I really fucking hope not. You want to chime in on that, David?
I say yeah.
You think so, Executioner?
It's all in the beginning of works, man. It's rumors of wars. Everybody's getting heated up from this one country. This other country's getting their shit together. They're talking about the nukes. Fucking Putin talking about, oh yeah, I'll nuke this place. And, oh man, China, he's talking about, yeah, get ready. I got my nuke over here aimed at this place. Come on, man. I mean, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. Someone's gonna hit that button. Right now, they
Well,
got
the
their
problem
hands
with
on
that
the
is
trigger.
then if somebody were to hit that big red button, it would be called mutual assured destruction.
Yes, sir.
Because America, and believe it or not, Russia, hold more nukes than any country in this world.
Oh,
And
hell
if
yeah.
somebody was dumb enough to push that red button, you won't have to worry about World War III because there'll be nobody left to fight it.
Yep.
Exactly.
Right?
So you ain't
That's
gotta
why they
worry
call
about
it. That's why they call it assured mutual destruction. Now,
no.
do you think World War III is going to happen? I think we're already there. Believe it or not, it's more digital and informational than physical boots on ground. If that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, that makes sense. I personally think, there's been a nuclear détente, probably since, the 1950s, ever since we knew that Russia had the bomb, and that has stopped us from going head-to-head. Instead, we've fought these proxy wars, which I'm sure you know, Dave, and Paul, but by using other smaller satellite nations to fight, fight it out amongst each other.
Yep.
The problem is with China is that we are China's biggest customer. So if you're a drug dealer, you don't want to kill your customers. And right now, everything we buy is from China. China would be stupid to kill its biggest customer. So as long as we stay out of their issue with Taiwan, I don't think we'll have a problem with China. And I think that's sad because I personally support Taiwan's, wanting their independence. Any country who wants their independence. As an American, I have to have sympathies for that. I totally support them. I support Ukraine. But if we get involved directly with it, it is almost a declaration of war. And when you have two nuclear powers, you can't do that. That's the sad thing about the invention of nukes and nuclear weapons is that, on one hand, you could say, okay, it completely could have ended war, right? Because you have this situation where it's just going to end bad for everyone. On the other hand, it ended war, so you can't get involved and help somebody out with a conventional war. Now, Dave brings up a great thing with a great point when it comes to digital warfare. On top of that, the drone issue, which is a whole other set of things. But as technology is changing, we can see that like Ukraine is using drones to great effect in a onesie twosie kind of fashion. I've seen videos of these idea of drone swarms, where you can have hundreds of them fly into a city, a capital, a military installation, and just wreak havoc, like little suicide bombers, and destroy everything in their path. The nature of warfare is going to be automated, just like so many other things are being automated now. That is the nature of conventional warfare. I have hope that cooler heads will prevail, and that we can find some type of diplomacy to stop the biggest guys on the planet from going head to head and destroying the whole freaking planet. But there is that wild card thing that everybody's been afraid of. And in the 1980s they made tons of movies about it. Everybody's sitting here at the table has probably seen many of them. And that's my biggest fear is that you have you have somebody like President Putin, who's been rumored to have been dying of stomach cancer for the past year or so. If he really loses his freaking mind and says do it, they're gonna press those buttons, and that's the scary part. If you have somebody like North Korea, who really is a case, and now fire and says do it, you're gonna have a problem. If you have somebody in the Middle East who is a religious heretic and a nut job, and they get their hands on one and they say do it, they're gonna use it. So.
Now, the one thing I can say that I know for a fact by talking to a lot of people, I do talk quite a bit to people, they don't want war. People in China, the populace doesn't want it. For one, it's good for government business, not good for regular business for the common man.
Yeah.
I know their citizens are really against all that nonsense. I know people in America, I can't speak for everyone in this country, but I know a lot of people who don't want World War III. Because it's not good for anyone, period. Hey, Paul, what's your take on it? Because it was your question. Join the conversation as well. What do you think?
No, I'm enjoying listening to you guys because, like I said, I'm always throwing my opinion out there. But I mean, this kind of stuff with Russia. I mean, it's been going on for so long, and like when I was in the military, I was working after my military intelligence stint. I went into OPFOR, opposing forces, and I taught the Soviet threat. And it's just like brainwashing everybody from Marine Recons, 101st Airborne, 82nd Airborne, all these special groups that I was teaching the Soviet threat to. It was in their mind that Russia will always be a threat. And and when I went through all that, I always wondered, I thought these Russians were like monsters. And I had to go to Moscow, Russia, with my friend Jeff Clifford, and I saw that these people were just normal, good-hearted people. In fact, when I went to Moscow, I mean, I had people who liked me so much, they gave me gifts to bring back to America, which I still have. And I just can't believe that we're going through all this crap, this shit. And then Putin, he seems like he wants to start something, and it's scary, and then you got these crazy people over